Ovin.com.
Welcome back here to the What's Cooking program, America's food, wine, restaurant, and travel program. Home of the Apprentice Show. That's what we promoted here on the broadcast. If you tuned in to Dear Donald Trump, because it's posted on our blog, apparently stolen by Eric Hines and Jack Roberts earlier today, ladies and gentlemen. Luckily, we were able to salvage Charlie and Kathleen Schaefer, this award-winning catering team. They've won a James Beard Award, and I think Charlie originally is from Jackson, Mississippi, and started out as a busboy. It's a very interesting story. Charlie and Kathleen, welcome to the broadcast.
Good morning.
Hi,
How are you
thank
guys?
It's good to have you with us here. Charlie, am I right? You started out as a busboy, right?
That's right. High school job, working nights, was bussing tables for a couple of weeks when an opening happened in the middle of service one night in the kitchen. The chef called me in, and I've been cooking ever since.
That's a cool story.
So there was an opening. You're a busboy. There's an opening, and so what? They were like slammed, or did you show some prowess for cooking, or what happened?
As it turns out, one of the cooks was fired.
Oh, wow. It was one of those nights, huh?
Be a job opening.
Yeah, and so did you say, hey, I could do that, or did they offer it to you?
I wasn't given any choice.
Wow. So you got in there, and so what restaurant was this at?
This was a restaurant called John L's back in Jackson. I'm not sure if it's there anymore.
All right, so you start in the kitchen, and then, Kathleen, how do you get going?
Very similar story. I'm from New Hope, Pennsylvania, and I was bussing tables when I was 16 at a fine northern Italian restaurant.
Yes.
And the chef was from Pisa, Italy, and every opportunity I had, I'd be in the kitchen peeling fava beans for her or helping her, and she told the owners that she liked me and she wanted me in the kitchen with her, and so I was able to apprentice with her for 3 years.
Wow. So you
And that's
apprenticed
how
in a fine Italian restaurant. So then how do you two get together and meet? What happens? You're in different areas of the country.
Oddly enough, we met. We were both catering. We were freelancing in New York and catering at the Republican National Convention at
Whoa.
Madison Square Garden.
2004, that's right.
So what year was this?
2004.
So 2004, and you're freelancing, and you both find yourself working for different caterers, but you're catering the Republican National Convention, and so different caterers, but how do you meet? Are you in the same kitchen area, or what's going on?
Well, I was in charge of Michael Bloomberg's suite, which had about 20 guests each night, and Charlie...
And I had the senatorial delegation, so I had about 800 guests.
Wow.
Kathleen would show up every now and then just to kind of, quote, help out.
Gotcha.
I had some free time on my hands, and I thought he was cute. So
Wow. So does this lead to
6 years later, we have a business and a 2-year-old.
There you go. So
Whoa.
romance ensues then on top of all this story, and so then what prompts you? Obviously, you're in the food business, but after you kind of get together romantically and have a 2-year-old and all this, do you say, hey, let's start our own business? Well, how does this start?
Well, we started out looking for restaurant space, and meanwhile, while the economy kind of went down, we decided, hey, maybe we should do something that's got a little bit lower entry. So the catering business is great for that because you can really get going and own your own business for a lot less money than it takes for a restaurant. And we were doing a lot of private chef and catering work, and it had really taken off. And so we said, hey, maybe we should just run with this for a little while.
Wow. So now you've been doing this since what, 2004, 2005? When did you start it?
We moved to Los Angeles about 5 years ago, and we started Schaefer's Genuine Foods in 2008.
Oh.
All right, so you're based out of L.A. with Schaefer's Genuine Food, and you're doing this now. What should we know about catering? We want to do, let's say, a wedding, or we got a big event coming up. How do we save money but still get the quality? What should we look for? What should we ask for?
I think some of the biggest misconceptions about catering, a lot of people will find a venue that they really like, and they see that it's, whatever the fee is to rent the venue, and they think that that's within their budget, and they're not looking at the big picture. There's food, service, there's rentals involved, decor, flowers, And so there's a total package, and beverages are also, depending on what type of beverages, if you're doing a premium bar or if you want to serve some nice wines, there's a lot more that goes into a budget of an event than what most people think. And
what we try to tell our clients is to find a reasonable budget that you're comfortable with, and be comfortable with it from the start. Because if you're not comfortable with that, it's going to be hard to stay within your budget because things are just going to kind of keep adding on. So find a number that you're comfortable with, and then go from there.
And stick to it, and then work backwards.
What do you mean by work backwards?
You can save money by doing a cocktail party where you're serving hors d'oeuvres and lovely appetizers as opposed to a full sit-down meal.
So in other words, remember to get the big picture that there's everything like in a wedding, flowers, all that kind of stuff. Can you actually put the whole package together for them? Certain places that put the whole deal together, the flowers, everything, if you want them to, and say...
We can do everything soup to nuts. We have a whole network of people that we love to work with that do from all the way from DJs to flowers to even security people, all these things that you might not even think of.
Oh, so you come in with the price, and you either are understanding that there's the whole picture, things are going to cost more, or you say, look, I'm not quite aware of everything, but I need all this. If I have X amount of dollars, what does that get me? What does the food normally cost? What's an average cost per person for an average wedding, say, for food, to have something halfway decent?
Oh, the food, well, you could do something more than halfway decent for $40 or $50 a person for a seated dinner, and then you can go up from there.
Halfway decent. That's kind of that's an interesting term. Is that an industry standard? I didn't happen to see that level of ranking.
No, everything we do is better than halfway decent.
What we really do is we make everything from scratch here. So, when you hire us to do your wedding or your event or your product launch or whatever you have, you're going to have two great chefs making everything by hand from scratch.
And that, of course, would be the difference.
The focus.
And that, of course, makes a difference because with, of course, a couple of outstanding chefs, you could take just about any kind of a budget and make it, let's say, stretch it halfway decent, as they say.
What is halfway decent? Is halfway decent? What is that usually, like hamburgers
really
or something?
What are your specialties?
Yeah, what are the halfway decent specialties that we start with?
Let's put together a halfway decent menu.
Between 40 and 50, what does that get you? Is it steak? Is it fish? Is it pasta?
We really like to start with what's in season, what's at the farmers markets. Of course, in Southern California, we have great markets. So, whenever we're writing a menu, we always think about that first. What is delicious right now? And we try to highlight that. And that's also a good way to save on money because what's fresh and in season is also the least expensive because it's in abundance. So that's where we start. And, most of the food that we do is very kind of farm to table. So, whatever is great out there is what we're going to serve you.
And did you guys win the James Beard Award?
We actually were invited to do a dinner there.
Wow.
To support the foundation. So we went to New York City in August and did a dinner there and sold out and had a really great reception. And all the proceeds go to support that great foundation.
All right. Now, where can we find more about you? What's your website?
SchaeffersGenuine.com.
That's SCHAFFER, Schaeffer?
Schaeffer's, yes.
With an S.
With an S on it. Give it to us one more time.
It's SCHAFFERS, genuine.com.
SchaeffersGenuine.com. Charlie and Kathleen Schaeffer, thanks so much for being with us. We're planning our event already, and we've got something going halfway decent. We'll continue straight ahead on the What's Cooking program. Michael Horn and Paul Stern.
Listen carefully to